Good day everyone and welcome to the Azure AI series. In this detailed video, we are going to walk through an end-to-end real-world scenario using Azure AI Search Services, and trust me, this one is packed with practical value. Picture this, JB Scoops, a growing ice cream brand, has been collecting tons of customer reviews over time, from flavor feedback to service experiences. They have built a huge repository of customer sentiment. But like many businesses, the real challenge isn't collecting data, it's making sense of it. In this session, you will learn how to create an Azure AI search solution from scratch, index unstructured documents like reviews, apply AI enrichment using built-in cognitive skills, and ultimately enable smart semantic search that brings out insights from raw text. This solution can empower JB Scoops and businesses like yours to understand what customers really think, spot trends, and make data-driven decisions fast and accurately. If you find this content helpful or you're learning something new, like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Alright, let's dive in and build something smart with Azure AI Search. Let's search for Azure AI Services and then let's create one right away. I've selected the required subscription. I've used this particular resource group. Region would be Sweden Central, and I've named my Azure AI service as this one. And the pricing tier, I've selected standard S0. Yep. And let's click on next. Next. And then let's create it. Deployment is in progress. Once the deployment completes, I will let you guys know. Deployment is completed. Let's click on go to resource. If you see here, we have the Azure AI service created. So now what we'll do is let's create our Azure AI search service. I have searched for Azure AI search, and let's create that service now. For the search service, I've selected appropriate subscription. I'm using this resource group. My service name would be this, and I've selected the region as Sweden Central. Yeah, and my pricing tier, I've selected basic. I would request you to look at the options and select what is fine for you. But for me, I think basic should be fine. Let's click on scale. And if you see here for basic, we don't have any option as far as scaling and replicas are concerned. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave this default, click on next, and then I will leave this as default, and then let's click on review plus create. Resources created. Let's click on go to resource. We have the search service created. Yeah, if you see here, we have the date created as 26 June 2025. Yeah, 9:20 p.m. and this is the URL. Pricing tier is basic. Replicas 1, we don't have any SLA. Partitions 1, and search unit is 1. Yeah, so as I told you earlier, while creating the search service, you need to select the pricing tier as per your requirement. Since this is a demo, I'm using the basic tier. Yeah, let's go to the resource group, and then let's look at the services one more time. So if you see here, we have the Azure AI service created and then the search service created. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a storage account where I'll be storing my review documents. I've searched for the storage account. Let me create one. I have selected appropriate subscription. I'm going to use this particular resource group. I've named my storage account as this one, and the region is Sweden Central, and performance would be standard and redundancy would be LRS. Yeah, let's click on next. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave everything else as default here, and then click on review plus create. Let's wait for this resource to get deployed, and then we'll take it from there. It's created now. Let's go to the resource group. Yep. And if you see here, we have the search service, storage account, and then the Azure AI services. I'm going to go inside my storage account, yeah, and then click on containers. And then I'm going to create a container called JB Scoops. And then what I'll do is like I will upload my required review files, okay? Okay, so this is my container name. So let me create it. It's created now. Now what I'm going to do is like I'm going to upload these 5 files now into that container. Let's go in and then let's click on upload. And then what I'll do is like I will upload these 5 files here. Okay, while the upload is going on, let's look at those files here. Okay, so these are the 5 files that I'm uploading. So review one, it basically tells like the review is absolutely loud, the very delicious blast, and this is the review. Likewise, if you see here, I have other reviews here. Yeah, it basically tells me, it gives a image of the ice cream and then the review, and I have the date and also the location. Yeah, so it's same for all my reviews. Yeah. So just to see here, if you see here, all these things are in same format wherein you have the image of the ice cream and then you have a short review and then the date the review was given and then the location. Now that the files are uploaded, what we'll do now is like let's go to our um, resource group JB Scoop AI, yeah, and then let's open our search service. Okay, so we have our search service open. Now what I'm going to do is like I'm going to click on this particular thing called import data. Okay, so first thing that we need to do is like we need to select the required data source. And to perform a search, you must provide a source with the information you want to look through. Yeah, Azure AI Search works with various types of sources such as tables from Azure SQL database, documents saved in Cosmos DB, unstructured files in Azure Blob containers, so and more, but these are the 3 things that comes to me right now. Yeah, and now what I'm going to do is like I'm going to use the one related to the blob storage. Yeah, that is where we uploaded our file. So these are the data sources that you can use. Yeah, and let's name the data source as JB Scoops data source. Yep, this is my data source name. Data to extract would be content and metadata. So we have other options, but as of now, I'm gonna use this content and metadata. Parsing mode, you can select what is required, but in my case, I'll be using default as I have both text as well as images. Yeah, and subscription, you need to select the appropriate subscription. As far as the connection string is concerned, click on choose existing, and then let's select our storage account where we have placed our review files. Let's select that. Yep, and we have the container name, and inside that container I don't have any folders, so I will leave that blank. And description, if you need to provide any description, you can go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to click on next, add cognitive skills. Okay, so the first option would be to attach the AI service. In my case, I'm going to use this JScoop AI SE. Yeah, so that's going to be my AI service that I'll be using. And the next one is to add the enrichments. Yeah, so I'm going to name this skill set as JB Scoops skill set. That's the name that I'm going to give. Okay, and I'm going to enable this option here. Yeah, I'm going to click on this enable OCR and merge all text into merged content field. Yeah, so as soon as I click on that, just look that this one is going to change to merged underscore content. So merged underscore content, basically what it does is like whatever data that we are going to give, it will all be merged, and it will be like coming up as merged underscore content. I will show you that in the JSON once we complete the indexing. In a simple search setup, you might process and index data retrieved from the source. Yeah, the type of information extracted depends on the source itself. For instance, if you're indexing data from a database, you might pull fields from database tables. Similarly, if you're indexing a collection of documents, details, file name, date modified, size, author, and documents text content might be gathered. While directly indexing raw data from the source can be helpful, modern users often expect deeper insights from the data. With Azure AI Search, you can use artificial intelligence during the indexing process to add new layers of information to the source data, which can then be linked to index fields. These AI-driven processes are organized into a skill set which defines an enrichment pipeline. Each step in this pipeline enhances the source data by applying a specific AI capability. Now let's look at the enrichment granularity level. We have these three options here. Yeah, the first one is source field. It basically means that the enrichment is applied to the entire content of the field as a single unit. Yeah. The next one is pages, 5,000 character chunks. It basically means that the content is split into chunks of approximately 5,000 characters, which roughly simulates as pages. Yeah, and the last one would be sentences, and it refers to the field is split into individual sentences, and each sentence is enriched independently. I'm gonna use this pages 5,000 character. Yeah, and what I'm going to do is like I'm going to look at these things here. Yeah, so we have these options here. Now, if you look at some of the examples of insights that AI skills can extract, it could be like the language a document is written in, key phrases that highlights the main topics or themes, a sentiment score that measures how positive or negative comment or whatever it is, and then references to location, people, organizations, or landmarks in the data, and AI generated image descriptions or text extracted from images using OCR, which is optical character recognition. Yeah, and custom skills you create to meet your unique needs. So if you see here, in my case, my reviews doesn't have the reviewer name, so I'm not going to select that. Same way, I don't have anything like an organization name, so I'm not going to select it. But if you look at my review here, you have the location, date, and then the actual review. Yeah. So since I have those things, what I'm going to do is like I'm going to use this one. Like I want to know the location name, so I'm gonna select that. And also I will be extracting the key phrases. Yeah. So just to make sure like I'm bringing in the required key phrases, so I'm gonna use this. I'm not going to use detect language because I know all my reviews would be in English. But in case if you are gonna get reviews in different languages, then you need to use detect language and translate text. Yeah, and extract personally identifiable information, the PII details. I don't need that. Yeah, so my reviews doesn't have that, and also like even if I have that, I'm not going to use in this case, so I'm not going to select that. I need the sentiments. Yeah, because the whole reason I'm doing is like I need to understand the sentiments, And based on the sentiments, I'll be like looking at the data. So I need that, and that's something very, very important for me. Yeah. And as far as the image cognitive skills are concerned, I will be utilizing generate tags from images and generate captions from images. Yeah. So now that this is selected, we have the save enrichments to a knowledge store. Yeah. Now, for example, if you want to look at the Azure file projections and also like what kind of projections are happening. If you want to get all these details, what you can do is like you can select that and then you can select your appropriate storage account, and then you need to maybe create a new container and then select that so that all these details will be sent across. Yeah. And also like these details, if you require, all these things will be written into the table as far as your storage account is concerned. And with that information, what you can do is like you can utilize Power BI to get the details. But in my case, I don't need that. Yeah, maybe in future videos I will give a small demo on this, but as of now I don't need that, so I'm not going to use that. Okay, let's click on next, customize target index. Okay, let's give the index name. I'm going to use it as JB Scoops Index. Yeah, you need to select the key. In my case, I will go with metadata underscore storage underscore path. Yep. So as far as Azure AI search is concerned, the key field is critically important because it defines the unique identifier for each document in your index. Yeah. And if we talk about what is key, it is a kind of a primary key for your search index. Yeah, each document in the index must have only one unique value for this field. Think of it like an ID column, maybe in a database table. Just an example. Yeah, it basically provides you uniqueness. It ensures that each document is uniquely identified in the index. And if you want to update or delete a document later, this key value is what Azure Search uses to identify which documents to modify, and it basically results in efficient lookups and indexing operations. And it kind of like the indexing operations rely on this unique identifier to a greater extent. The index is the final searchable output of the indexing process. Yeah, it is made up of a collection of JSON documents where the fields store the values gathered during indexing. Client applications can use the index to search, filter, and organize the data. And if you see here, each field in the index can be set up with the following properties. If you see here, we have these options like retrievable, filterable, sortable, face table, and searchable. Now, if you look at each of these, we know that the key identifies the fields that acts as a unique identifier for the index entries. We discussed about it before. And let's talk about the searchable. Yeah, it basically marks fields that can be used for full text search queries. Yeah, now for example, if you want to search something, then you need to ensure like this searchable is selected. Yeah, and if you talk about face table, it makes fields available for creating the facets, which are used in user interface to filter results by a list of known values. Yeah, and if you talk about sortable, it enables fields to be used for sorting the search results. Yeah, and filterable, as the name shows, it is basically allows fields to be used in filter expressions to narrow down results based on specific conditions. And retrievable, again, the name is clear here, specifies fields that can appear in the search results. Yeah, by default all fields are retrievable unless the setting is explicitly disabled. Okay, so in my case, what I'm going to do is like I'm going to select the required options here. I'll be clicking on the filterable for content, for locations, key phrases, sentiments, merged content, text, layout text, image tags and image captions. Okay, and once this is done, I will click on create an indexer. Okay, let me name this indexer. I'm going to name it as JB Scoops Indexer. Yeah, the indexer serves as the core component that powers the entire indexing process. Yeah, it combines the results generated by the skills in the skill set with the data and metadata pulled from the original source and then assigns this information to specific fields in the index. When an indexer is first created, it runs automatically. It can also be set to run on regular schedules or triggered manually to update the index with additional documents. Yeah, in certain situations like adding new fields to the index or introducing new skills to the skill set, you might need to reset the index before running the indexer again. Now, if you click on this indexes here, you will be able to see this JB Scoops index that we created. Yeah. And then now if you look at the indexes, if you see here, we can see that the status is success and then it was run like 1 minute ago. And doc succeeded is 5 out of 5. So I earlier show you that I have 5 review files. And if you can see here, those documents are all succeeded here. Before moving further, let's understand the indexing process. Yeah, the indexing process generates a document for each item being indexed, and as part of the indexing, an enrichment pipeline gradually constructs these documents by merging metadata from data source with additional fields enhanced through cognitive skills. Each index document can be thought of as a JSON structure. Initially, it starts as a document containing the index fields you have mapped to the data directly extracted from the source, and it looks like you will see it as document and then the metadata storage name, metadata author and content and things like that. Yeah, and at the end of the pipeline, the field in the final document or linked to index fields by the indexer in kind of like two ways. That is like the fields taken directly from the source data are mapped to the index fields. This can happen automatically when fields with the same name are matched, or it can be done manually when you define a mapping, often to rename the field or apply a transformation to its values. Yeah, fields generated by the skills in the skill set are manually mapped from their location in the output structure to the corresponding index field. Yeah, so now what we'll do is like let's look at some search data now that we have created the skill set indexes and the indexes. What we'll do is like let's go to the overview and then let's click on the search explorer. Okay, and once this is done, if you have multiple indexes, you need to ensure like you are selecting appropriate index. In my case, it's going to be JB Scoops index. Yeah, and now what I'm going to do is like I'm going to change this view to JSON view. And then what I'll do first is like I will just run search star. Okay, let's run that. And if you run it, what you can see here is like you will be able to see all the data that was basically indexed by your index. Yeah, so the indexer basically uses the indexes. So if you see here, it basically shows us like we have this review. These are the key phrases. We have the sentiment, and if you look at the merged content, yeah, now you have these things like all individual, but as far as the merged content is concerned, you will be able to see that all these things are merged. Yeah, so the review, the location, and then also the date. Yeah, the review is here, the date is here, and then the location. So all these things are merged, and that's why it is called merged underscore content. Yeah, and then you have text, layout, text, image tags. This is like the image tags and the image caption. For example, if you see here, the image tags like we just gave the image that is present on the document. Now, if you can see here, the indexer has basically created these image tags. If you look at it, it basically tells like food, ice cream, and things like that. Yeah, it seems like a very intelligent one. And now we have this image caption, and now it goes on to the next review. Okay, now what I'm going to do is like let's put a comma here. Yeah, and then let's enable the count. Yeah, and try running it one more time. Yeah, so if you run it, and if you see here, we have a count here. Okay, if you see that, it basically tells us 5. That means like we have 5 documents. We know that we have 5 documents, and that basically tells like we have close to 5 reviews. And with the count, for example, if you search for something, and then based on this particular count, you will be able to understand how many records basically came out. So that information you will be able to get with this count in place. Okay, so now I'm going to run my next query, which is basically like I'm telling search star, and then what I want is like I don't want all the data. For example, if you see here, I'm getting this content, metadata, storage path, locations, key phrases. Now I just want to select appropriate things. In this case, I'm going to select only content and the locations. Okay, now let's click on search. And if you see here, the data count is like odata.count is 5. That means like all 5 records are here. All those I'm telling each document as a record here. And if you see here, it basically lists you only the content and then the location. If you can see here, you will be able to see that for all the 5 documents here. Okay, the next query, what I'm going to do is like let's remove the content and then just have these locations and then see what happens. And then if you see here, now I'm not getting much details. I'm just getting what I've asked, which is locations. And if you see here, it basically tells me like we have 5 reviews, and it tells me like where are these reviews coming from. For example, if you see here, I have a review from Chennai, Bangalore, Ahmedabad, Pune, and then Jaipur. So I'm getting that information without any issue. Yeah. So next one, what I'm going to do is like I'm going to search for a phrase. Right now I'm using a star, which basically brings me all the details. Now what I'm going to do is like I'm just going to search for the keyword scoop. Okay, let's run that. And then if you see here, it basically tells like I have the odata.count equal to 1. That basically tells me like out of the 5 documents I uploaded, the word scoop is present only in one document, and which is this one. It basically tells like my scoop was already melting when served. So that means like it has brought us the proper data. Okay, now what I'm going to do is like let's get into the real reason why I'm doing all these things. I just want to check for all the reviews that has got a sentiment of negative. Okay, so now when I search for this, and then I'm basically telling you just show me the content, locations, sentiment, and merged content. And if you see here, we have a negative sentiment here. So that means like there is a negative review. Now let's read the review and then see if it is actually negative or not. Okay, it basically tells like my scoop was already melting when served, and the cone got soggy within minutes. Disappointed with the quality this time. So this basically kind of like definitely a negative review. So I'm pretty sure the AI search definitely got a good one. So, for example, if you see here, that none of the reviews has got anything like a star or things like that. It's just the review, date, and location. But what I'm able to see is like the sentiment indicator is bang on target, to be frank. Like it studied the review and then it basically pointed out like it's a negative review. Okay, so that means like out of 5 reviews, I got 1 negative review. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is like let's check for positive reviews this time. Okay, so that means like we have 1 negative review, we should be getting 4 positive reviews. Let's look at that. Now, if you see here, it basically shows us that odata.count is 3. That means like we have like 3 positive reviews. Now, if you see here, it basically tells like classic vanilla done right, simple, smooth, and not overly sweet. So it's definitely a good review. So that is the reason we are seeing it as positive. Likewise, we have 3 positives. Okay. So now we know that there is one negative review and 3 positive reviews. So I'm not sure like what is that the fifth one, because we have uploaded 5 documents, yeah, and I'm not sure what happened to that fifth, whatever it is. I'm not sure. It could be either positive or negative. I'm not sure what it could be. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is like I'm just going to search star, yeah, and then what I'll do is like I will just have the content and then the sentiment, and then I will check for the details here. Okay, let's run that, and then you see here it basically tells like we have a 5 data count. Yeah. Now if you see here, first one is positive, second one is positive, and third one it comes out as mixed. Okay, so that's the one that we have not searched for. So now what we'll do is like let's search for this mixed. Yeah, so I'll use this query sentiment mixed. So let's run that. And then if you look at the content here, it basically tells like ordered a mint frost cup, but it had icy chunks and lacked flavor. Tasted like it had been freezer burnt. Hope it was just an off day. So what I understand is like the user has given a bad review, but it is also pointed out like maybe like it is a problem today, but that means like the customer definitely had some good reviews before on this particular place. So that's the reason the AI search has branded it as mixed here, which I think is like very good, yeah, because at least I was under the impression it is going to be positive or negative, but the good thing is like it is definitely making sense of the review and then coming up with a great guess here, yeah, and what I think is like this is really really awesome. Yep. So at least like when I would have read it, maybe I would have overlooked it and branded this as a negative comment, but what I feel is like this particular thing, at least I think like the AI search has definitely done a great job. So now what I will do is like I will as a JB Scoops owner, let's say like I'm the owner for JB Scoops, what I'll be doing is like I'll be looking at my negative and mixed reviews, yeah, and then what I'll do is like I will try to improve. So for example, if I see here, I see that the message is like it has already melted and also the core has become soggy. So maybe like the server, whoever was serving it, took a little more time. So I will have to like look at that one, and I will be easily able to solve this. Yeah, it is just like if you look at the whole process here, what I've basically done is like I uploaded all the reviews, and I just concentrating on negative and mixed, so that I'll be able to fix that particular thing. And once I'm able to fix that, I'm pretty sure I'm going to see some happy faces. Yeah, instead of reading each and every reviews, what I can do is like maybe like I can pick up 1 or 2 random positive reviews, but I'll be concentrating only on my negative and mixed reviews, and that's really really going to help me. And if I'm going to do this manually, you know that you need to read each and every review. That's going to take a lot of time, and it's like you'll not be able to get to 100% because there is high possibility you might miss something. Yeah, but in this case, if you see here, we will concentrate on what is required, and also like we can look at many other data as well. Yeah, it is not just a sentiment. I'll be able to look at the locations, and then I can understand like from which location I'm getting more customers, and then I can plan things accordingly. I hope you liked this video. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Jai Hind.